Buds, you Comfo, this is a full review of the 1More ComfoBuds Pro.
Khuda, we're DHRME.
Do
help
reclaim
Mount
Everest.
Okay, the name says Comfo, so we've got to start with that. And you know what? They ain't lying. These earbuds literally make it feel like there's something lightly just resting on your concha.
Concha what?
The outer part of the ear, the cavity is called concha.
Ah, gotcha. Well, if you've learned something new like me, leave a subscribe and hit that comment button. But seriously, these are very comfortable, but at the same time, I always get the feeling that they're sitting too loosely. Not sure I'd use these tips for a heavy workout for fear of dropping my buds. But here's a banana test.
What do you mean a banana? The fit in the ear also affects sound, so let's get right to it. Let's get the obviously good out of the way. These are loud. You won't be left wanting for volume. When I got these the first 3 or 4 days, I thought I had just lost it. Let me explain. First off, these come with Bluetooth 5.0 and play audio over AAC. Now, 1More has a pretty good name in the audiophile community for low-cost earphones with their triple driver IEMs. So when these sounded boring and flat, I couldn't for the life of me figure out why they got such rave reviews. It was like eating a bland salad without any dressing or Red Hot Chili Peppers, pun intended. Songs like classic Red Hot Chili Peppers sounded subdued and sanitized. But then I switched up something. The other guy will tell you. For the best sound, and this is kind of stupid, you have to use a listening mode, the ones with ANC. The strong ANC preset as well as the wind were my favorite, so it's clear that the DSP is very strongly influenced by the ANC mode that is active. With the ANC on, it was almost like a strong V-shaped EQ had been applied. Mild makes it a bit brighter, pass-through is even brighter, and wind noise reduction is doing something similar. These are all different enough that you could kind of treat them as EQ presets. ANC off is not something I'd use for music, but yeah, with the ANC running, these sound good. Very, very close to the AirPods Pro sound. And at this price class, that is saying something. These give a balanced representation with a fairly decent soundstage for the size. Bass never gets overpowering and the mids are passable depending on which ANC setting you have them on. Overall, even though it may not be the most exciting sound signature, it's not at all harsh in any aspect. And I suppose that ties in well with the Comfo part of their branding.
And let us take some time to work on our branding. If our videos help you make purchase decisions or you're entertained by our cringeworthy humor, then take a moment to become a patron for a small amount per month. Check the link in the description for more information. Speaking of ANC, these are more than passable. They're not AirPods Pro level when it comes to noise cancelling, but they definitely cancel out a reasonable amount of noise and you won't be disappointed by them, unlike other buds in similar price classes that promise it but don't deliver. The ComfoBuds do a surprisingly good job in the pass-through mode as well and sound very close to not wearing the buds at all, except for the slight amount of white noise that is noticeable. We barely experienced any difference between the ANC strong and mild mode. I'm happy to see that they feature wind noise reduction as a separate mode, but we didn't really hear much of a difference in windy conditions.
Together with their IPX4 rating though, these should make for a very capable set of workout buds if you can get the fit right. Remember the banana test?
None of the tips that came in the box really worked for me in terms of secureness of fit. I ended up swapping the tips for a smaller size.
And I went to the smallest size. Didn't get the best seal, but what did work the best is going back to good old SpinFit CP360 tips. Not sponsored this time, but those tips can certainly hold on to the ear really well.
And what kind of review would this be if we didn't go all fuckman on these buds? We did mic quality tests and here they are. Alright, this is a phone call test of the 1More ComfoBuds Pro in quiet conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Alright, these are the 1More ComfoBuds Pro in noisy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle, ice, ice, icicle, test, test, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is the 1More ComfoBuds Pro in windy conditions. Pop, pop, popsicle. Ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. Pop, pop, popsicle. Ice, ice, icicle. Test, test, testing. 1, 2, 3. So, what did you think? In terms of phone calls, we thought they did well across the board. A few nitpicks from our end include the fact that the right bud collapses when wind is blown directly on it. The SS seems slightly tamed in the voice, and there's no ability to mute calls directly from the buds. Also, strangely enough, the volume controls only work for music and not for phone calls. However, we'd feel comfortable recommending these buds for calls. One more reason to buy these buds.
We tested 1More's claim of battery life and they hold up about 8.5 hours without ANC and 6 hours to music with active noise cancelling on strong, with the volume at about 10 notches out of 16 on an iPhone. That's pretty loud, and that makes these a fairly long-lasting pair of earbuds.
While on the build, the black version of these buds come with rubberized protection. It's kind of a convoluted affair, to be honest. You have to glue it on the case.
Yeah, and with my fat fingers, I never quite got the alignment right. It's nice to have a free protective case. Who's going to say no to that? The case itself isn't my favorite. I'm someone who says size does matter, but girth matters more than length. And that's for one reason, pocketability. The thicker the cases get, the harder they are to stuff into our pockets. And unfortunately, this case is on the verge of being too thick for the pocket, especially with that extra rubber protection. And that extra protection ain't there if you go for the white version. Not sure if this is a design limitation or a political statement. Either way, we are not a huge fan of the design. If you thought the original AirPods looked like toothbrush heads, then these look like toothpicks. Not very inspiring, and they're so slippery that it almost feels like they were made by Apple. And coming to that case, it's like you need bomb diffusion skills to take the buds out of the case and put them back in. The case weight balance is also a bit off. It just tips to the back every time you open it. It feels almost like a lot of thought went into being original and different from other cases, which we appreciate, but it hasn't necessarily been successful.
And the buds have a clear touch area, which is different from the earbud itself. Good stuff. You can adjust your buds and control them without getting the two mixed up. However, there are some limitations here. Long press toggles to your favorite ANC mode, but both earbuds can only toggle to the same ANC mode and then to pass through and off. You can select whether you want the ANC to be strong, mild, or on wind noise reduction. And for the double tap or triple tap gestures, you can choose from 4 options: either play pause, skipping to the previous or next track, reducing or increasing volume, or call up your voice assistant. We suggest using at least one of the shortcuts for volume. That worked best for us.
So let's talk about some more 1More stuff. This case has fast charge but doesn't come with wireless charging. These buds do not connect to multiple devices simultaneously, and you have to disconnect from the first device or use the Bluetooth button on the case to connect to the second device. It does have smart pause and also offers more smart pause customization than others, which is good. The app offers this and the tap customization we spoke about along with the ANC modes, but that's it. There's no EQ here, so you need to have a third-party app for that.
However, for me on the iPhone, the controls kept resetting to defaults for some of the settings.
That happens when you use a walled garden phone, right?
Speaking of gardening, we asked 1More about recyclability, but didn't really get a response on that topic. They did say that they generally provide a 1-year warranty though.
You've been watching 1More Review.
And we've been DHRME. Namaste. I thought you would be able to drop that before.
No, I never.